one. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Logan Power Show. It's me, your host, Calvin Logan, and we are in the Logan household having some fun here today. I got a gentleman. He has a plethora of knowledge. He is a fighter, a firefighter, really. He also is a domestic violence advocate. But now he's a husband. He's a father, but now he's going to a new role. He's going for once again for city council for District 6, the one and only Mr. Christan Rainey. How you doing, sir?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Got it.
Yes, sir.
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Doing good. Just want to let everybody know that county council, because I don't want anybody to think I'm taking their seat. So county council District 6.
County Council District 6, we're excited about it. The biggest question that people always want to ask, why are you running? Why now?
It's because it's a public service position. I'm a public servant at heart. I'm obviously a captain in the North Charleston Fire Department, run a nonprofit organization that serves the community, serves our children, educates our children in bullying and domestic violence. And I just felt like it was time for me to take my service to another level.
Got it. Absolutely. Now, District 6, can you tell people what the district entails and what's the need?
So the district is huge. It is very massive. My district runs from Glen McConnell, right after you pass Lowe's, both sides of Bees Ferry Road from end to end. A little bit of that Springfield area, and then it shoots all the way up 61 until the border of Charleston and Dorchester County. Shoots across the river to Forest Hills 1, Forest Hills 2, Brookdale, kind of snakes up to Pepper Hill, goes across to Colony North, which is my neighborhood, and Ashley Heights, goes up Palmetto Commerce and Ingleside Drive, catches a little bit of the Green Ridge area, and shoots across the Latson and up to Lincolnville, man. I run from one side of the county literally to the other, man.
That's a lot of running. You can be doing some serious running and moving.
It's a lot of running.
Got it. So with your district, it is very flourishing. Definitely is a good district when you come to school. It's very district when it comes to wealth. And what do you want to see different happening in your neighborhood, in your district? If you've been given the opportunity, what do you want to see differently happen there?
I just want to see us make smarter decisions with our tax dollars. Make sure that make sure that I'm able to help bring some of the concrete solutions that they've been looking for a long time pertaining to flooding. I think we've been talking about flooding for a couple of decades now, and we have yet to solve that issue. So I have a couple ideas that we could do as far as partnering with the Army Corps of Engineers and a couple other people and trying to figure out what we can do to really mitigate that problem. Because it's an issue that we've been dealing with for a very long time in the Charleston area, North Charleston area, and even some parts of Lincolnville and Latson. And I just think that, we have to really put our money into solutions that are going to fix this problem long term. And I would also like to see some infrastructure that will last longer than 4 to 5 years as far as its effectiveness. We have projects that we fund, that it costs millions of dollars that will only, increase us from, a grade F to a grade D in traffic. And when I asked the questions, well, how long will this last? They said, well, roughly about 4 to 5 years. So, in my opinion, why are we spending millions of dollars on a project that's only going to last 4 to 5 years when we can anticipate growth, put some numbers behind it, and try to plan for the next 30, 40 years of the district rather than planning for infrastructure that we technically needed about 10 to 20 years ago.
Got it. Absolutely. Now, when you talk about the Army Corps of Engineers and thinking about 61, and we know flooding is a very huge problem, especially during hurricane season, We're talking about, 3-4 foot of water. There are some churches that's on 61. When it's heavily rained,
Can't get in the parking lot.
You can't get in the parking lot. You can't even have service. It's a wrap, unless you're on higher ground. Would an option? This is something inside of my head. Do we need to say maybe open up some other roads, like clear some of that tree line and maybe make a connector, sort of like an on ramp, maybe like for instance a toll? The reason why I'm saying that is because when you think about that 61, then you think about the Interstate 526. People get off 526 and I go down 61. That could be a nightmare. A drive that could take me maybe from getting off on 526 and I'm getting off going down to 61, maybe 10 minutes. If heavy traffic hits, that can turn to 30 minutes, 45, an hour, depending on if you know how to drive around the nonsense. What are some, I guess, an idea that you talk with the Army Corps of Engineers, you think that would sort of help mitigate some of these problems that you talk about when you talk about flooding?
Yes. So one of the projects that they're talking about doing in the county is not only widening Glen McConnell, but also extending it to Somerville. So it will basically continue forward, which will help mitigate the problem of congestion on 61, which obviously preserves our green spaces because we know that we don't want to cut down the trees on 61 in order to deal with the traffic. So, one of the things that I proposed was maybe using that extension and the drainage that we obviously have to build on that extension to help alleviate some of the neighborhoods and subdivisions that do have flooding problems. So, one of the main things is they typically don't have place for the water to funnel and go, which some of it is just maintenance and just staying on top of maintenance, and some of it is just the water doesn't have any place to go. We've been living in Charleston long enough to remember when before Glen McConnell was built, you made a right on Magwood and, that was it. Then you just went up to 61. And so, now looking at that, we knew, I lived in, Ponderosa and played around in West Sachet a lot as a kid, even in Church Creek. So, knowing that, I knew that back there was wetlands, it was kind of swampy, whatever. And so we built on top of that and, it's really causing an issue. And so every time we build a subdivision, even though we may be fixing the water problem for the new subdivision, it's still draining off into another neighborhood, causing them more havoc. So, what I looked at was taking a regional approach to flooding, because if we fix flooding in Charleston, it still could potentially cause flooding issues in Dorchester County or Berkeley County. So we have to take a regional approach and make sure that we're working together as a region. And I suggested that we start a tri-county task force for flooding, because I think that is going to take the Low Country and the tri-county area in order to really tackle this problem, because it's a regional problem. Flooding doesn't know a border. So it's like, oh, we're in Dorchester County, we're going to stop flooding. No, we just have to look at fixing it together. And I think that with the extension of Glen McConnell, I think that it can alleviate some of the traffic that you're referring to on Highway 61, if it's done right. And like I said, we have to plan for the future. We can't, just do another 2-lane or 4-lane highway if we know that, 10, 20 years from now, we may need 6 or we may need 8. Look at Bees Ferry when Bees Ferry was first built.
Sure.
Bees Ferry wasn't as wide as it was now, but with the growth that happened over there, we had to obviously widen it. But, if we knew that if we put one subdivision over there, we knew obviously developers would come and develop more. So why wasn't it done the first time? It's almost like, we're kind of spinning our wheels and wasting money sometimes. So I just want to make sure that we're making sense when it comes to building infrastructure, and we're building something that we don't have to widen or, change in the next 10 years. That's going to cost our taxpayers more money.
Got it. So pretty much you have a game plan that sounds very solid and very well thought. of some actual steps and processes that will get us to the goal of actually accomplishing a successful, not just your county, but a successful low country. And
Yeah.
my hat's off to you. I pray that, you know, you do get that opportunity to be part of city council, and that you be able to, that county council be able to get part of that in District 6 and given that opportunity, because we do need new ideas, fresh minds that are solution makers, not just problem talkers. You know, we got a lot of these problem talkers that people talk a big game, but once they get into office, um, I'm in my seat, so I'm just going to ride it out and have a good time and say, put that on my resume, like, hey, I did this. Um,
Mhm.
Final thought for yourself. Besides the flooding, what else is another one of your main focus you want to see accomplished when given that opportunity to be selected?
Public safety. Um, Obviously, you know, I mean, I'm a captain in the fire department, so public safety is my heart. And you know, I think when it comes to, you know, any council, I think people realize that public safety is important, but it's different when, you know, you're out there putting your life on the line and you understand what it really takes to protect the city or to protect the neighborhood. And you know, we look at the growth of Charleston, and we know that, you know, even when it comes to Charleston County EMS, I mean, they do a phenomenal job, but they're spread thin. They need, you know, obviously more personnel. They may need more vehicles. Um, you know, there are situations, and even when it talks about 526, I consider it more of a public safety issue more than a traffic issue. Because when you look at the outskirts of Charleston County and we look at the response times out there, if all these units are pulled to the greater Charleston area or North Charleston or the busier areas, it sometimes leaves to outlying areas open. And we have to call on mutual aid in order to assist. And, you know, we have to make sure that, you know, the people who are paying taxes in the county, that they get equal and fair public safety, whether it be through their respective municipality fire departments, or whether it be through Charleston County EMS, their dealings with the sheriff's office, just making sure that everybody has equal protection. Because I think that's very important. When we look at even the town of Lincolnville, you know, they have, you know, a fire truck over there. They have also just recently built, I think it's Magnolia Bay. It's a 3-story apartment complex. And, you know, anybody in the fire service will tell you it's going to be hard for one truck to come on scene and be very highly effective with a problem that can turn real bad within seconds. So, you know, I would like to see them get, you know, the resources that they need in order to come along with the rest of some of the places in the county that have an auto aid agreement, and maybe do some more training together and, you know, things like that to make sure that, you know, their town is protected, because Lincolnville is growing rapidly. And, you know, I just want to make sure that, you know, the taxes that people are paying, that they are well protected. Public safety has to be a priority, because it's people's lives is what they pay for, and they should always get the best.
Got it. Yes, sir. So again, District 6, County Council, the one and only Mr. Christan Rainey, June the 9th. We're excited.
Yep.
I suggest early voting is always welcome. I tell anybody, like, know who's in your district, know who you're voting for. I would love to have. Like I said, if I could vote for you, I definitely have you in my book.
I appreciate that, brother.
Because of the kind of heart that you have for the people. People who have a heart for people will actually do that. Now, how can people get in contact with you?
They can, it's multiple ways. They can visit our website, which is www.christanrainey.com. I don't mind people calling me on my cell phone, 843-608-0434. I'm looking to be your servant. So to me, I don't have to hide behind appointments or hide behind anything else. If you have an issue or you see something that you need to have addressed, I want people to be able to get in contact with me directly. So, you know, obviously we have a Facebook page you can visit. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, you know, all that good stuff. But, you know, the most important thing is for people to get out and vote, and not just for me, but pay attention to the ballots. There's a lot of things on the ballots outside of people sometimes that, you know, kind of fall by the wayside that we don't realize until it's too late. And, you know, I know these elections sometimes are overlooked, and there's low participation, but they're very important. Local government is the key to your quality of life. The national politics and all that other stuff, it doesn't truly affect your quality of life, because those are not the people who are building your roads. They are not the people who are fixing your flooding issues. They're not people who are building your interstates. So we have to make sure that we have the right people in place who are going to fight for us and fight for the people, and not fight for things in their better interest. So, you know, I am a people person, and, you know, I know it sounds very cheesy, may sound like a cliche, but I just have a heart to serve. Since my mom and my 4 siblings have been killed, you know, that is what's filled my void in life. I've done a lot of things to try to fill a void, and I realized that my passion for service is what does that. And, you know, like the old folks say, there's 2 important days in your life: the day you're born and the day you find your purpose. And I am blessed to be able to be walking in my purpose right now.
Amen. And we're walking in your purpose. And we at the Logan Power Show, we support you 1,000% for you and the Rainey family. I believe that this man of God is, when he gets elected, I'm going to be excited for him. I'm going to shout just like anybody else who's been on the Logan Power Show. We have a good percentage of winners on here. So I like the winners, and I like people who fight for the people. Just remember this, ladies and gentlemen, when you put them in office, put them to work now. Now, this, like I said, this man's ready to work.
Hey, I accept the challenge. I tell him to hold me accountable. Hold me accountable.
Yes, sir. And we're going to hold you accountable, but we got to keep you lifted up in prayer. That's the thing. Yes, sir. So I want people to lift him up in prayer. You want to make sure that you pray over his home first. So we claim over the Rainey home. We want to make sure his wife and his children are protected, because he's got to be good at home so that he's able to fight this fight as a firefighter, as a public servant. So those are the type of things we pray for. So we pray favor for you at your home. We pray favor for you as a firefighter. That's no joke. And when you be given the opportunity, we claim the favor for you as a public servant. So yes, I'm excited for you. And hey, everybody, stay focused. Remember, it's bigger than the presidency. Our senators, our council members, city council, county council, House of Representatives, mayors, the judges you select, those are the game changers. The president is only one entity, but that's executive. The legislative branch is what makes the difference. That's who passes all the laws. President can say, we want to give everyone $5 million. Yeah, we screaming high heaven. But until the House of Representatives and senators and these other people pass it down, it ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere. So I want y'all to stay focused, stay blessed. Thank you again, sir, for coming to Logan Power Show. You're more than welcome. Anytime. Yeah, you're welcome anytime. You know, we got much love for you. So, hey, I thank y'all for watching. We appreciate y'all support us. www.loganpowershow.us. Again, Christan Rainey, keep me in your Rolodex, keep me in your prayers. And June the 9th, get out there. Let's get bold. Let's get rocking and rolling. Hey, we love y'all. Let's count the Logan Power Show nationwide, worldwide. We love you. See you soon.